guys, it's MBT Writer and welcome back or welcome to my channel where we talk about all things from books, writing, and just my general life and whatever I feel like recording that particular day. And today I want to dedicate a video to all the books I've loved before. P.S. I still love you. If you don't know where I got that title from, it's a popular Netflix movie called To All the Boys I Loved Before. P.S. I still love you. However, I decided to change it up a little bit and do books. So practically, in today's video, I'm just going to be showing you guys some of the books that I've read in the past that I still have very strong feelings for and that I still adore with so much love. And I might even read them again because I really do like them. So without further ado, I'm gonna stop talking and I'm going to be telling you guys like why I love them. I'm gonna give kind of like a little history behind me in the books. Hi, it's currently editing MBT Writer here, and I just want to let you guys know that some of the books I am recommending are books for younger audiences because I read these books when I was younger, but when we get to the end, you see more of the YA books that you guys will probably like, so just keep watching to the end. And yeah, I'm gonna stop talking and let's get on with the video. First off, I'm going to start off with some of the Star Darling books. If you don't know what Star Darlings is, it was pretty popular, at least to me, a few years back, probably like 2016, 2017 or around that time on Disney Channel, and I used to love whenever the show came up or they presented some of the songs. And a few years back, I found some of the books at the library. Now, these aren't all of the books in the series. They're just like random parts of the series because the library didn't have all of the books. I still have the books. I never returned them because they're from a whole other state. So please, libraries, do not come for me. Do not sue me. You know, I was like 10 when I got these books and then we moved to another state and you know, I just never returned them and I still have them on my shelf to these days. But I have books 4, 6, 11, and 18, Vega and the Fashion Disaster, Dora Finds a Friend, Clover's Parent Fix, and Cassie Comes Through. And honestly, they're such pretty books. Like, look at the interior of them. Like, it's so pretty. You get like some special features. We even get introduced to all the characters, and we even have a whole section for Cassie. This is Adora. Unfortunately, Vega does not have the cool character introduction thing. So these are written by Shana Modoon Zappa and Ahmet Zappa. I remember being so obsessed with this world, and low-key, I want to like buy the rest of the series because I used to adore these books so much, and whenever I read them I felt like I was being trapped inside of the story, and these are probably the books that really made me enjoy reading. Hi guys, it's currently editing MBT Writer here to tell you guys what the Star Darling series is about because recording Naima decided to be annoying and not tell what the series is about, so I'm here to do the job. You're welcome. So basically the Star Darling series is about, I think, 12 girls who live in this like base, and they go to this school that teaches them how to learn to grant wishes back down on Earth, because practically the people in the planet or in space go down to Earth and grant wishes, and practically there's like the 12 or so girls who everyone just thinks they're dumb, but they're actually in a special thing where they're going down to Earth in order to grant wishes and save the world, basically, or something like that. I don't know. It's been a while. I'm trying to like jog my memory here, and practically like on the last book that I've read, I don't know if that's a spoiler. It probably is, so I'm sorry. So yeah, that's practically what it's about, and every book is like a different problem. Honestly, I wish they were real and they could grant one of my wishes, because if I could, I'd wish that you would subscribe and like and comment down below what I should do next, So yeah, that's probably what you should do now. That's the first book series. The next book series I have for you guys is A Land of Stories, the second and third book. I have the fifth book, but I don't have the fourth book. So I'm waiting until I get the fourth book to read the fourth book and then read the fifth book. And I also never read the first book, so yeah. So I've read these probably like 2 years ago or 1 year ago. I feel like these books were like the start of my big chapter book journey with a lot of words and a huge storyline. I also just love like the cover of these books. Again, I have to tell you guys what the book is about because recording Naima again decided not to tell what the book is about. So I will tell you guys. Practically, they're these siblings. I think they're Alex and Connor. I don't fully remember. Okay, it's been a while. But them two discovered this magical fantasy land. And while they're there, there's just like a bunch of problems, and they like discover some new things about their family, their father and their grandmother. And it turns out they're practically like royalty in the fantasy land, and there's a bunch of evil people after them and who are trying to ruin the fantasy world. You're welcome. Next is a book that I read when I was on punishment about like a year or two ago. And I got in trouble. I forgot what it was for, and I read this book, and I actually really liked it. If I didn't get in trouble, I probably wouldn't have read it. And this book is about a group of children who love going on adventures and other things, and then they finally get the chance to go on another adventure when they find something in their garden that allows them to travel all through time. And we just follow them throughout the adventure and find new things about them, and I love this book. I think what really made me love it was the fact that we have many beautiful illustrations. I feel like in books these days we kind of miss the illustrations in them, or maybe that's just the books I've been reading. By Edward Eger. Next we have the Lunar Chronicles series, and so far I've only read books 1, 2, and 3. I have book 4, but I haven't read it yet. This is the only book that I actually own. The Cinder book I got from a library, and the third book, I forgot the name of the third book. But the third book I had borrowed from a teacher earlier this school year, I think. This series practically follows two main characters, Scarlet and Cinder, that takes place in the future when an evil moon queen is trying to take over the world. There's fighting scenes, there's like breaking the law, there's sadness, but there's also happiness and bittersweet moments in this series, and that really made me enjoy it so much. I'm pretty sure this is like the first YA book I've ever read, because all the other books I've showed are middle grade books, which means they're like 8 to 12 or something like that. And this book is actually more for teenagers, and it's the first book that I've ever read that is for like a little bit of an older audience, but not old, like not adult, but teenagers. So this is like the first, I think this is the second book, and I read this before I read Cinder. And Cinder is the first book. So as you guys can tell, I have quite a history of not reading the books in order. Next, I have two Dork Diary books. The reason that I love this one so much is because I got it back in like 2020 or sometime like that, around the time when it was first published, and I thought it was so cool. I felt so cool because I got a book when it was freshly published, and I just loved that so much. This book follows a like quirky teenage girl as she navigates through high school and friendships, and also this pretty mean girl, Mackenzie, who just won't leave her alone. I even colored in it. And then here is another Dork Diaries book, also by Rachel Renee Russell. And the hamster I used to have, Cola, also bit up the pages. I think another reason why I liked that series so much was because it was like the female version of Diary of a Wimpy Kid. And Diary of a Wimpy Kid practically follows this young middle schooler boy called Greg. And there were actually a few movies of this series, which also made me like it quite a bit because not only could I read the books, but I could also see the books come to life. I have The Deep and The Last Straw, which is literally like on its last straw, on its last leg, because it is torn up. And I have two of the same book, and I think this is probably like the first book. Again, I colored in this book. And this book was published in 2020, and I got it in 2020, which again made me feel so cool and modern. I'm actually going to look up if there are any new books coming out because I love this series. Last but not least, we have the Shadowhunter series. These books introduced me to the Shadowhunter world, and I absolutely adored them. It's even when I first started really getting into annotating and really started to love annotating. What really made me enjoy this book was how it really made me feel like I was in it. Like whenever I was reading the book, I was so hooked into the action. I love how it like takes place in the past, where we had wonderful balls and everything was like classic, and girls wore long beautiful dresses. Because at the time I'd never gone to like a school dance, I'd never really dressed up properly like for a school dance. In elementary school I had one after school dance, but everyone was in uniform and like the gymnasium was separated by grade. But it wasn't like this type of dance, this type of ball where the girls had dance cards and everyone was dancing and there was classical music playing. There was no magic like inside of this book. There were no swords and cool tattoos that allowed you to be protected from monsters and other things. I got the second book, and ignore the fact that these books do not match up. I think I got both of them from Walmart, but for some reason they just aren't the same. And this book also follows the main character of this book, Cordelia Carstairs, as she navigates London after something happened to, I think it was her father or something like that. I completely annotated this book. Like I was obsessed with annotations. Like these days I don't annotate as much as I did with this series. With this, look at this. Look at the spine, guys. And let's talk about the cover art. The cover art is just something different. Now, when you like take off the clothing of the book, it's just plain. But this is just chef's kiss. Can y'all hear the airplane? Supposedly there's supposed to be a third book to this series coming out next year or this year. I'm not sure. I think they changed the date. But there's a third book coming out, and I will be the first person at Walmart. I will literally break through those Walmart doors and get the book. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and hearing me blabber on and on about these books. Comment down below if you've read any of these or some other books that you think I might like that you've read based on the books you've seen me talk about. Also, follow my TikTok, which I'll put on the screen right here, and follow my Instagram as well as my Goodreads and my Pinterest, and of course follow this channel that you are watching right now, NBT Writer. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment what I should do next. And yeah, see you guys next time. NBT Writer signing out.